Ivan, the next theme we're looking for in stories is something you call networking disconnect.
It is kind of the dark side of VCP because it's where people get disconnected from what networking is really all about. I did a presentation in London a few years ago, and there were 900 people in the audience. And I just did this off the cuff. I wanted to test this concept. So I asked all 900 people. I said, raise your hand today if you're here hoping, maybe just possibly to sell something. 900 people must have raised their hand. I think I saw virtually every person in the room with their hand up. I said, great, thank you. Second question. How many of you are here today hoping just possibly to maybe buy something? Nobody raised their hand. Not one single person. And that is the networking disconnect. People show up at networking events wanting to sell, but nobody is there to buy. And that's where networking just really goes wrong. It just completely goes south because they're not doing that VCP.
So people expecting to sell don't actually realize that no one is there to buy anything.
Yeah, listen.
They don't have a chance of selling.
They not have a chance, I would say almost zero. Because people say to me, oh, I've met someone that bought my product or service, when I went to a networking event. Yeah, it happens. But it happens about as often as a solar eclipse. Mm-hmm. You don't want to build your business on going out and basically doing face-to-face cold calling. That's really what that is. It's face-to-face cold calling. And that's the disconnect that takes place. Networking is about building relationships. It's not about closing deals the first time you meet somebody.
And in terms of stories that we'd be looking for, there's probably a lot of people out there who tried that straight sale, go in for the kill immediately, but had to learn their lesson. Do you think that would make a great story?
It would, especially someone who, tried to do that over and over again, but just was struggling with why isn't this working, and realized that it's really all about relationships. And when they realized that how you create that relationship then determines what kind of referral you're going to get. One of the stories we've seen actually was perfect for this, because it was a gentleman who I know, Adam, who he was working on a cruise ship, and he met this the cruise director. That's right, the cruise director, and they didn't get along well, and he knew they didn't get along. Sometimes when somebody, and there was history with the previous person in his position, and he was getting the fallout. And he just, for some reason, as he walked by her office, and she didn't seem very happy, he just stopped and he said, "You okay? Everything all right?" And this was somebody who didn't like him. And so that's a little brave, that's, you're going outside your paradigm a little to ask something. And she said, "No, you know what? I'm really missing my home, and I'm missing my garden. I love to garden. I just, don't have that on a cruise ship." So when they went to port, he went and he got a little plant for her. And he left it on her desk with a note saying, "Every time you miss your garden, this is for you." Boom! Totally made a connection with this woman who didn't like him. But after that, she felt, wow, what a nice gesture. So she started actually he worked at gallery, she started actually bringing people to the gallery for him to talk to. And it was as simple as a plant. But it was really more complex because it was about your ability to ask questions, your ability to find out what that person needs at that moment. And if you can somehow, in some small way, fulfill that need, you make that connection, and that connection can lead to a lot of business.